Anyways, welcome everybody to Weiss Camera Action. I, of course, am your host, Aaron Weiss, alongside the King of Corridon, Alex M. Weiss.
This is not Weisscast?
This is
What?
not Weisscast. And
Oh my goodness.
joining us for the first time ever,
Drum
the
roll.
Duchess of Dunwoody, the Sage of Sandy Springs, my girlfriend, Erica J. Lavender.
Hello. Very happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Happy to have you.
Thank you.
Alex, Erica, how are y'all doing? How's Monday treating you, Alex?
I've been pumped for this all day. Honestly.
I have too. Erica, how about you?
I have also been pumped for this all day. It's been a great Monday for whatever reason. I didn't have to go to work, so it's been very easy peasy lemon squeezy, which I was happy about. So all is well. I've been just looking forward to this all day.
You know who else has been looking forward to this?
Craig.
Besides Craig, my roommate, Aaron Eldon Hargrove.
Does he have opinions on Pirates of the Caribbean?
No? I don't know. But, of course, this is Weiss Camera Action, the show where each and every week on your favorite podcast service, Alex, Erica, and I will review movies/series of movies. If you like that and you want to be a part of the show, go to patreon.com/Weisscast where you can join our producers club for only $1 a month. That $1 a month tier grants you the ability to ask questions that you want to be aired on the podcast, or you can write your Darmok review. That's right. We have Darmok reviews. And Alex, I think you have a couple examples for us. Also, Erica, this was definitely a little bit of a curveball because I forgot to tell you that we changed from alliterative analysis. I'm so sorry.
So
Awesome. I can rock with it. That's all good.
I'm going to save the Darmok review to the end, just to hook the listeners.
Can we have multiple? Can we do just one for
Do one?
an example? Just for an example.
Well, okay, I'll give you the first line because I have it constructed as 3 lines in my head. Okay.
Okay.
So Sparrow and Turner at Tortuga.
Beautiful. I can't wait to hear the rest of that.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Because this is the first episode, we haven't had anyone write in. But that's okay. There's going to be a first time, and I tell you what, someone's going to write in faster for this than they do for Weisscast, because this show is going to overtake Weisscast in popularity. Boy, do I tell you. You. Oh wait, before I get to the thank yous, also, if you want to be a Patreon producer, you get the show earlier and uncut. The Patreon episode will go up on Wednesday, on every Wednesday, and the regular episode with the cuts, I guess, will go up on either Thursday or Friday. I haven't decided. I have
a censored version for the masses.
The censored version. Thank you to our Patreon producer, Chronoslinger. If you don't have any change to toss our way, no big deal. You can catch the show each and every Thursday or Friday on podcast services around the globe. I lost my place. Yep, housekeeping for you. Soon, we'll be pulling Instagram for our next series. Pirates is a shorter 5-movie series, so we're going to go on ahead and poll you in the next couple weeks. Be on the lookout for that, and we're going to start building hype for the series after Pirates. Today's episode is brought to you by Weisscast, but more on that later. For now, let's begin with the show with what is and forever will be first impressions. So, Erica, we'll do summary after first impressions. Come on.
Okay.
You're gonna jump the gun. You're gonna jump the gun.
I
wrote the show here.
I only jump
Erica, this is your first viewing of Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl.
Okay, I wanted to ask how.
So it's kind of my thing that there are so many movies that everyone has seen that like everyone's seen that I just haven't. And every single movie in the Pirates of the Caribbean series is included on that list, except now I have in fact seen the first one. So feeling pretty good about that. I'm finally making my way there. Was the question, what were my first thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay, well, my first thought was that I did actually do orchestra my entire life from the time I was in elementary school till high school, and I think it was middle school, maybe 7th or 8th grade, we did play the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack for our fall concert, I think. So my first reaction was, "Oh my gosh, this sounds like 7th grade orchestra." And then once I got past that level, I did really enjoy it. I really, really enjoyed it a lot. So
You did.
I did, yes.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
Alex, what are your impressions?
I have a new opinion of Orlando Bloom, and I can sum it up as British Hayden Christensen.
Oh, that's not a good opinion.
No. He,
Give me some backstory. Why is this?
I noticed I'd never noticed how stilted and wooden his acting was, and how besides setting off the sequence of events, he's not really that integral to the story. Like
Mm.
you could like replace him, and I don't really care for his acting in this movie, but I like everything else.
No, that's fair. I actually I noticed something also about Orlando Bloom during this, and it had very little to do with his acting. I think it had more to do with the continuity of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could just be my brain misremembering. When we're introduced to adult Will Turner at the governor's
Mm-hmm.
mansion, we see him delivering a sword for Commodore Norrington's promotion. They call it a coronation. Doesn't seem like the right word. Anyways, the governor had ordered this sword for for Captain, soon to be Commodore Norrington, and Will Turner shows up, and throughout the whole movie, he has this chin beard and mustache and soul patch combo, and it's very faint upon first seeing him. But like later in the movie, it's more pronounced. And that just really bothered me in that first seeing. I don't know if it was like to show that time had passed, like later that it's like more pronounced or whatever. But like, I don't know. I thought in my memory, when I think of Will Turner, he has that mustache, that soul patch, that chin beard, and it's just
Like
not
at
like
the
what?
end of Return of the King when Aragorn has a full beard all of a sudden.
Yeah, but time has obviously passed there.
It still always kind of jolted me. Like, where'd that beard come from?
That's fair. But we'll do Lord of the Rings in review some other time. This is Pirates of the Caribbean. So my impressions were, so I was telling Erica and Alex, you were there for this. I saw this movie in theaters for my 9th birthday. I was terrified.
Rightfully so.
I distinctly remember leaving the like walking out of the theater during the last battle, where it's like all the skeleton pirates against the British Navy.
Yeah, that was
Terrified.
creepy.
I don't know why Mom and Dad let me see that movie, but I'm really glad they did, because I mean it really shaped my childhood and teen years like the series did. Of course, I mean, I loved the movie. I would never have, like, when I was that age, I would never have admitted that I walked out of the movie because I was scared. It's so good. It's so iconic. I say one of the most iconic movie scores of all time.
And you know who's a great composer, Aaron? That's right. It's Hans
Well,
Zimmer. But you know who did not score this movie? Hans Zimmer did not score this movie.
Zimmer. Yeah, it was Klaus Bedelt.
Yeah, he's German. So is
But
Zimmer.
you know who is great at playing the score on her viola is Erica J. Lavender. So there you go.
Is that
I,
is that the instrument they use in that one cue? I mean I don't know the name of the cue, but it's a stringed instrument.
That's a great
I
question.
think
More than likely, it would have been the first violins and not the viola. But
Okay.
you know what? I'd like to think it was the viola. It's been a second since I've tried playing it, but let's go with it was the viola. Viola pride all the time.
to get us off on a little tangent real quick, I want to know, Erica, how different are violin and viola?
Great question. So the violin is higher pitched, and the strings on the violin from highest pitch to lowest pitch go E, A, D, G. And then on a viola, it's slightly lower pitched, but you still play it under your chin. It's not like a cello or anything. And the strings from highest to lowest go A, D, G, C. So it has 3 strings in common, except for it's actually the same strings as a cello. A little fun fact about that. The violin and the bass actually have the same strings, just in opposite order of pitch. So on the bass, the deepest string would be E, whereas on the violin, the highest is E. Um, anyway, pretty much the same instrument. But I just think the viola actually has a prettier tone. Again, viola pride every day.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for Stringcast, starring Erica J. Lavender, coming to the Weisscast family of podcasts on a podcast service near you. Guys, I got some fun facts for you about Pirates of the Caribbean. First of all, it was released in. Wait for it. Wait for it. I just found it. I lost it and then I found it again. July 13th, 2003. So just days before Alex and my birthday. Alex was born 2 days before me on July 17th, and I was born on July 19th.
A couple years apart.
It just a couple 8 years apart. It had a budget of $140 million and grossed $654 million worldwide, with a runtime of 143 minutes. It's incredible. Some fun facts: the film began filming on October 9th, 2002, and ended filming Friday, March 7th, 2003. I feel like that's a pretty short filming time for movie this caliber. That's like a short turnaround. Like,
What month did it begin? November?
October of 2002, so less than a
So-
year before release.
October, so 5 months, 6 months of shooting. And then March, that's a 4-month post production. That's a very quick turnaround.
And just think, like, this movie is really good, especially considering that it had 9 months between starting to film and release.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
And there's quite a bit of CGI too, so.
Mm-hmm. And you know, I was actually surprised. I feel like Disney Plus updated the CGI a little bit, because I do not remember it looking as good as it does upon watching it on Disney Plus.
We've got it on DVD. I guess we could compare.
I also have it on DVD.
But I watched it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, as did we. Yeah. You know, let's see if I have any more fun facts for you. Some fun trivia. Keira Knightley claimed that she was so sure that she was going to get fired after a few days' work on the film, she only packed a few things to go with her to start filming. Johnny Depp wore contact lenses, which served as sunglasses, so he wouldn't be squinting at the sun the whole time. Oh gosh! Thank goodness this didn't happen. Originally, Johnny Depp wanted Jack Sparrow to have no nose and be afraid of silly things like pepper and the common cold. Disney rejected the idea.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, that was a good move on Disney's part.
Very much so. Seem the various eunuch lines were improvisations by Johnny Depp, which is hilarious to me. That's all with the fun facts. Alex, hit us with that summary.
All right. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl is... Oh, grammatical mistake. Follows Jack Sparrow, Elizabeth Swann, and Will Turner as they encounter cursed pirates who can't die but need one last piece of treasure Elizabeth holds and a secret that Will carries. Throughout the film, alliances are made and broken, buckles are swashed, and we get to see Jeffrey Rush as an amazing pirate. End synopsis.
All right. Thank you for the synopsis. And I take you through my interpretation of the summary. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Lady and gentlemen?
Absolutely, I am
Why
ready.
do you have an interpretation of the synopsis?
The synopsis, interpretation of, or my version of the. Just let me tell the story, all right?
Oh, I thought you were gonna interpret my synopsis.
Oh no, no.
Okay. No.
All right.
I want to hear that.
We open on a British Royal Navy ship, and we see Governor Swan, Captain Norrington, a young Elizabeth Swann, and a surprisingly clean Mr. Gibbs.
Last time.
Yeah, the last time he was clean. They are making the sail from England to Port Royal, and young Elizabeth Swann singing "Yo ho, yo ho, a pirate's life for me," and Mr. Gibbs is like, "Quiet, Missy. Bad luck singing about pirates." These type of weather. And you know what? Sure enough, they find a burning merchant ship and a boy floating in the water. And Elizabeth's all like, there's a boy floating in the water. And I do have to say, Alex, real quick, that I think that young Elizabeth Swann was horribly miscast. Because she looks nothing like Keira Knightley. I mean, no offense to this girl. She's a fine enough actor, but like she looks nothing like Keira Knightley. I mean, I think Eric and I even talked about that, right? Didn't we? Did we?
We did. Whenever Keira Knightley came on the screen, I was like, oh, it's the little girl all grown up. Like I was able to put two and two together, but I did agree that I don't know, they could have found someone who maybe looked a little more like her.
You know what they should have done, Alex? They should have gotten the little girl that was the that was one of the decoys of Queen Amidala.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, I know.
I wonder if is Keira Knightley like Greek
She's one of the
descent or something?
I don't know. We can look that up real quick.
I'm just looking at a picture of her versus the little girl actress. The little girl has like blonde hair, or blonde-ish hair,
Keira
and a lighter
Knightley's hair is
complexion.
darker.
Hmm?
Keira Knightley's hair is darker.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's just British. Oh, and Scottish. All right. So there's a boy in the water. Anyways, they rescue Commodore or Captain Norrington's more like man overboard, and so they rescue this little boy, and he's not breathing. Young Keira Knightley is works her magic and resuscitates him, and he coughs up some water, and introduce themselves to each other, and she noticed this gold medallion and just swipes it right off of him like the little thief that she is. Flash forward about 8 years. It says 8 years, I think, in the movie, but I don't think it really matters. They're adults now. And we into a scene with Keira Knightley waking up from this dream. She was remembering her voyage to the New World, to Port Royal, and her maidservant is talking to her about Commodore Norrington's promotion. Keira Knightley's obviously not very excited. She knows that her dad wants her to marry him. Maybe her dad wants to marry him himself. I don't know. Remains to be seen. They talk for a little bit. There's a little bit of exposition. Then we're introduced to adult Will Turner. And Alex, I got to tell you that this is one of my favorite parts of the movie. This is so iconic to me. It has that very like early 2000s, late 90s flavor of like comedy in an action movie. You know what I mean? Like he's like messing with that candle thing and it breaks off and he's like, what do I do? What do I do? And he just puts it down in the umbrella. What?
It's a great scene.
It's a great scene, but it's very late 90s, early 2000s. And I was telling Erica this the other day, like this exchange between Governor Swan and Will Turner is one of my favorite things. It's like that's gold filigree in the blade or in the hilt, and then the tang's nearly the full width of the blade. And I told her, sometimes at restaurants I like to do that with butter knives.
You may have seen this movie more than I have.
I've seen this movie a lot. I make a point to watch the series like once a year. And after this scene, Alex and Erica, I think we have the most iconic character introduction maybe in all of cinema history. And I hope I'm not over exaggerating that. I think it really is. You have the classic, the quintessential Pirates of the Caribbean music, which is Jack Sparrow's theme. You have Jack Sparrow standing on the sail, the mast of his boat. You see him, he just looks so epic, and then look down in the boat and it's sinking. And just there is no dialogue in this until he gets to the dock, but it is such a great character introduction because it shows us all about his character. Erica, from this scene, could you tell that this guy was going to be like pretty goofy?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I thought it was a great introduction. I kind of knew. I mean, this is so silly, but I kind of knew a little bit about him just from the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney World. So I had like a gist of what his personality was going to be like. But even if I didn't, I feel like just watching that little opening introduction of him would have given me like what I needed to know. I feel like it told us that he was kind of a little bit goofy, maybe a little bit all over the place and not, but, like, he did what he had to do to get it done. Like, he had his bucket, he was dumping water overboard. He made it to the dock eventually, even though, like, only his sail was still out of the water. Like, he makes it, He's a little scrappy, but he knows what he has to do to get it done, so.
That might be the best pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have Hut.
And he has this exchange with the Doc Master, Doc Smith, Doc Brown.
The Doc. Doc.
Hickory Dickory Doc. He has this exchange and he keeps his anonymity. That's a big word. That's a master's level word for you, ladies and gentlemen.
That's $1.50 word at least.
Yeah, that's a $64,000 word. Anyways, keeps anonymity. We cut to
hey, before we get too far away from the introduction, can I say something?
I'd be insulted if you didn't.
Okay. I mean, I didn't know where your summary ends and our analysis begins. So, anyways, one thing I like about Jack's introduction is like the first couple shots are close up, so you can see the mast, but you kind of think he's on this giant ship, and then when it cuts to a wide shot, he's got this tiny, tiny ship. You're just like this comically small ship.
Yeah, it's hilarious, and I think that's something else that adds to his character a lot. Feel free to analyze as I summarize the movie.
Okay, thank you.
Erica, pop in whenever. You don't have to wait to be cued.
Absolutely.
Where was I?
He paid the dockmaster.
Pay
went
the
on his way.
dockmaster. We go over to Commodore Norrington's promotion. And we kind of cut between that and the exchange between Jack and wait, I have the characters' names. I'm so sorry. I need to pull up the characters' names again. I have them. Jack and oh shoot, what are these guys' names? I need to pull it up on my phone. I can't see their pictures good enough on the. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I am unprepared because it's important that I get their names because there is a very special part of the show coming up, and I need their names. Mulroy and Murtaugh. Captain Jack has this discussion with Mulroy and Murtaugh, and Alex, that brings us to our first podcast within a podcast. Voodoo. I'm gonna hit the theme music, and when I pause, I need you to say kudu, and then after I pause the second time, I need you to say foodoo. All right?
Okay.
Ribbit beep a doo. Ribbit beep a doo.
Voodoo.
Welcome everybody to Kudu Foodoo, the podcast within a podcast where cool dudes rank funny dudes. This, of course, is first time that funny dudes come up in Pirates of the Caribbean. They just obvious comic relief characters. This, of course, is Mulroy and Murtaugh of the British Royal Navy. Mulroy's the guy with the longer face and like the he's like more matter of fact, and Murtaugh's the one that's a little bit more, I guess, dumb-ish. He's the one that believes in the Black Pearl when Mulroy does not. And there's just this really funny conversation, Alex and Erica, between Jack Sparrow and Mulroy and Murtaugh. And the most iconic part, I think, is when Murtaugh's like, "I said no lies." You know, that little exchange right there. I don't know why, but I love that quote. I wish that I quoted that quote more often. But once the other funny dudes come up in just a second, we will rank them which duo is better. All right. So we will come back to Kudu Fudu in just a second. But on with the analysis. We cut back over to the promotion. Norrington is, macking on Elizabeth Swann, trying to propose, and he's being a nervous wreck, just like a guy that is approximately 15 years older than a girl would be, I guess.
What the age gap was, because he was a full-blown adult at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm going to say at least 15 years, though.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, he's like, "You become a fine woman, Elizabeth." And then she straight up faints because she has this tight corset on from the beginning of the movie, and she can't breathe. and he's there's this really funny miscommunication. She's like, I can't breathe, and he's like, yeah, I am nervous too, and she just falls off the fort into the sea. And my favorite lieutenant in all of Pirates of the Caribbean comes up. I believe it's Gillette. Well, first he Norrington's like, Elizabeth, and then Gillette comes up, sir, it's a miracle that she missed him. She missed the rocks. I don't know why. I just really love Gillette. Anyways, it cuts back over to Jack. They see, or Murtaugh, Mulroy, and Jack see Elizabeth fall into the water, and Jack's like, are either of you going to save her? And they're like, no, we can't swim. And then he's all like, he owns them and is like, pride of the King's Navy you are. Gives him his stuff, dives in, goes to save Elizabeth, saves Elizabeth, throws her on the dock. Throws her? I don't know. Realize the corset's the one that's the thing that's making her can't breathe. Can't breathe? Not been. Words are hard, guys.
You're doing amazing.
Take another
Thanks.
sip of that stuff. There we go.
Words are hard. The corset gets removed. She can finally breathe.
Oh dear brother, you forgot one detail.
What did I forget?
When she hits the water, the
Oh,
coin
I did.
sends out a signal.
Yes. So, okay, the coin sends out this seismic bat signal, for lack of a better term, and it's like a very miniature earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
Very miniature. And Mulroy and Murtaugh were like, what was that? And anyways, yeah, I did forget that. You're so right. You're so right.
So
they're on the dock.
I need to interject and say, with one thing I really, really, really admire about pirates, well, for lack of a better, I don't want to say Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, it's just pirates. Was all of the setups and the payoffs and the script, and like the way they set up the coin at the beginning. Now it's the second. Oh, your attention's drawn back to the coin. What's up with the coin? At this point, we don't know what's up with the coin, and the way they set up the corset. And I mean, it's not a major story point, but it is useful, I guess, because it kind of drives Elizabeth to be introduced to Jack, and also have the coin touch the water. I like the efficiency in storytelling.
Yeah, I really appreciate that too, and like even the corset comes up a little later in the final battle, as kind of like a cheesy mid 2000s one liner, which I really appreciate that. But we'll get to that later. The British Royal Navy surrounds Jack and Elizabeth along with Governor Swan, and they threaten to arrest him. They threaten to kill him because he's a pirate. They realize that he's Jack Sparrow, Captain Jack Sparrow, and then he escapes by somehow. Like I don't understand how this works. Like he's surrounded by like at least 8 people, right? And somehow he gives them the slip. He takes Elizabeth hostage for like 5 seconds.
Well, he has shackles on his hands.
Yeah, I know that, but like, how does he make the initial move to get Elizabeth without being shot or stabbed or something? Like, I don't understand how that. I mean, I guess I gotta suspend disbelief. Like, Erica, did you have an issue with that at all? Like, I mean, maybe I'm overanalyzing.
I can't say I did have an issue with it. I feel like, especially because it was my first time seeing the movie, like details that maybe like you would notice after like a few times having seen it. I don't know. I didn't have an issue with it personally, but I'm new here, so.
Fair enough.
But we need your perspective too.
we need your perspective because you're seeing it with fresh eyes, and Alex and I are seeing it with eyes that have seen this movie since for 17 years. You know.
This is fair. This is definitely fair.
So somehow Jack escapes. He does this Jack Sparrow thing where he releases this cannon and it breaks the dock, and he I mean, it's never really explicitly said, but I mean, he might have straight up killed some dudes. And he gets away in a very Jack Sparrow way. He's looking for the town blacksmith, finds him to break the shackles. Blacksmith's asleep. Perfect. And then, guys, one of my favorite sword fights in the whole series. It's money. It's money. And you know what? I really hope that someone on YouTube edited in some lightsabers on there because I feel like it'd be a really good lightsaber battle too. But you know, just a little crossover for you. But
And can I also say, as someone watching the movie with fresh eyes, I did also think it was a great sword fight, like very visually striking. I enjoyed it a lot. So just wanted to throw that out there. Like watching it, I was like, wow, this is great. It was only my first time seeing it, so I didn't even have that much time to appreciate it, but I still loved it.
yeah, I just feel like the choreography was amazing. I don't know who did the choreography for this movie. Maybe I could look them up on IMDb real quick. See full cast.
I've been reading the book about the making of The Princess Bride, which I know it's a different movie, but they've been talking, or it's by Cary Elwes, and he's been talking about the sword fight in that movie, the whole book. And so I'd been kind of having that sword fight in my mind while I was watching Pirates, and I was kind of comparing them. But I all that to say, it's a great sword fight and probably the best since The Princess Bride. Because in between, like I can't name any sword fights and any major sword fights between 87 and 2003.
I mean, yeah, I guess there weren't really like one-on-one sword fights in Lord of the Rings, huh? I mean, it was like just action. Like Aragorn would like
No.
kill a bunch of orcs, you know? Like it wasn't like maybe Aragorn and Lurtz at the end of Fellowship of the Ring. Maybe
Lurtz just threw his shield.
there was a little bit of a fight, huh?
Yeah, but it wasn't a duel.
That's fair.
Yeah, like Lord of the Ring had
Right.
sword play, but there was no sparring and no
Yeah,
battle of wits either.
that's true. That's very true.
I mean, the closest thing
But
we
yeah,
have is Star Wars, and that's, I mean, it's a completely different style.
it's a completely different style, and it's not. It's lightsabers, not swords.
Closest thing.
But yeah, it's really good the way that they like kind of use the environment to sword fight each other.
I mean, it's really cool. But then
Jack cheats, and he says pirate, and the blacksmith that was asleep wakes up and knocks Jack out with his bottle of rum, and Jack goes to jail. The next part of the movie is Jack in jail. Sounds like Jack in jail. Jack in jail with other. I'm assuming they're pirates, but they could just be your run-of-the-mill prisoners. They're trying to escape by calling the dog over, the dog that holds the keys, because of course the dog holds the keys.
To the ride, by the way.
Oh, that's a reference to the ride?
Yes.
Huh. Erica, can you speak to this?
I unfortunately cannot speak to this. What is a reference to the ride?
The dog, or the pirates trying to get the dog's attention with the bone in the jail.
I'm not sure I'm familiar with the ride.
Didn't you say you went on the ride?
Oh,
The Pirates of the Caribbean
yeah,
ride?
I did.
Now,
I wish
to
I
be
could remember. I'm so sorry. I really don't.
now to be
Um,
fair, they changed the ride after the movie to reflect the movie.
oh. I really do wish I could remember. If I was more of an avid Disney World goer, maybe I would, but I'm really not familiar. So
You know,
sorry.
chances are you probably rode the ride after
Hmm
the movie was released.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. It's probably been since I was maybe in 8th grade since I've been on this ride. So, I did love it. It was cute. I loved the song. I can't say I remember much else.
that's okay. Just about this time, while Jack is in jail, Elizabeth Swan's getting ready for bed. Her maid servant is heating up the bed with this pan of hot coals, which is
Always bothers me. I'm like, how is she not going to burn her feet?
that's what I'm thinking. Like that reminds me of that episode of The Office where Michael sleeps with a George Foreman at the foot of his bed. Do you think she burns her feet every morning trying to make some delicious bacon?
So, this is the crossover we need here. Which
It's what?
one of the actors from this movie is also in the British Office, so there is a connection.
That's very true. Oh, do they exist in the same world?
The world may never know.
Or the world may never know. And then, as that conversation's happening, a conversation between Governor Swan and Commodore Norrington's happening on top of the fort. And what's that? Cannon in the distance. Oh boy, howdy! You hear a cannon, and the wall comes crumbling down. They are about to be pillaged by pirates. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the first introduction of the Black Pearl. The crew of the Black Pearl. They come to Port Royal. They attack and pillage. One of the cannonballs hits the wall where that group of prisoners is right next to Jack. I still don't understand how none of them are harmed, but you know the magic of movies. And they escape. But not old Jack. He's just out on his luck, you know.
He had to be in solitary right next door to them.
Had to be in silent. That would be torture, kind of. Well, I guess it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be torture unless they escaped like that. Then it is kind of torture. Which, yeah, I guess it did become torture. They're attacking and pillaging. Will Turner takes up arms and goes out and tries to kill pirates. Then there's this other very mid 2000s moment where this guy with a big hook gets Will by the neck and he's like, has this hatch and he's like, say goodbye. And then the sign falls and like knocks him into the store, but Will managed to get away really quick. And he's like, bye. Like, I don't know why. That's just very mid 2000s, like late 90s action movie to me. I guess it's, I don't know. I feel like I've seen that in something like that in other movies, like that kind of one liner.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
So the Pearl attacking the city, or the is it a city, village,
Royal.
Point Royal, and also the pirate chasing the lady are both references to the ride as well. Direct references to the ride.
That's a fun fact. Then
The ride.
Alex and Erica, we get introduced to, wait for it, beep 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 doo,
Kudu?
beep beep doo.
Voodoo.
Welcome back, everybody, to Kudu Fudu, the podcast within a podcast where cool dudes rank funny dudes. This scene, we get introduced to Pintel and Rigatti. Rigetti is the one that comes from the British version of The Office. He has a wooden eye, and Pintle is the short, stocky one who has a sense of humor.
The skullet.
I think, and a skullet. I think these guys play off each other really well. They have really good chemistry. I mean, good old Murtaugh and Mulroy also have pretty good chemistry, but I think we're just shown more of Rigetti and Pintle. And I think they have more of an opportunity to be funny. Erica, if you had to compare these two sets of characters, what would you think?
The second two, you just said their names. I can't remember the one with the wooden eye and what were their names?
Rigetti and Pintle.
Okay, to me, they were maybe more entertaining, but they were entertaining in a different way, if that makes sense. Like they felt like I was saying to you while we were watching it, like they kind of reminded me of like the wet bandits from Home Alone in a very odd way. They were just kind of like goofy, but like they were like the bad guys, and they were like still scary, but like they were more funny than scary, I thought. Whereas like the first two, what were their names? They started with an M.
Mulroy
Yeah,
and
them two.
somebody.
Them two. They were less. I don't know. To me, they were maybe a little bit less memorable than the second two.
Well, the
For
first
whatever
two guys
reason.
had like one scene, like
That's
one really
fair.
good scene,
That's fair.
I think.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But yeah, from the second two characters that we're talking about came on the screen, I was like, oh, they're funny, and I liked them pretty quickly.
So, can we agree that Rigetti and Pintle rank first, and Mulroy and what's his name rank second?
I agree with that assessment. Correct. Yeah.
Pintle and 2. You know what?
I want
I
to call
don't
him
want to sign in.
Murtaugh, but that's the guy from. I think that's the
It's
guy from Lethal
Murtaugh.
Weapon. Murtaugh.
Yeah, it's Murtaugh and Mulroy. And just minor spoilers, light spoilers. These probably will be like this for the first 3 movies. And then once we hit 4 and 5, we'll have other comic relief characters. But Kudu Fudu, funny dudes, Rigetti and Pintle top of the list, followed by Murtaugh and Mulroy. Back to the summary. Rigetti and Pintle make their way to the governor's mansion, and by this time Elizabeth was awakened by the maidservant. She's like, "We gotta go. We gotta leave. She's the governor's daughter. They're gonna kidnap her." And just then, there's a knock at the door, and the butler goes to answer the door, and Pintle has one of my favorite lines in the movie. He's like, "No, chum," and then just shoots him right in the face. That is like just deadpan. It's brutal. It's what a pirate would do.
Can we just talk about how scary this scene is? Like, or just spooky it is?
It is pretty
It's kind of
spooky.
spooky.
I mean, I'm kind of glad that we watched it on Halloween week. You know, like, I don't know, if Pirates of the Caribbean just feels like a Halloween movie a little bit.
Because I mean, when we're in the scene, you don't know Pintle or Rigetti are comic relief characters, and like you said, Pintle just shoots the guy point blank, and then stalks Elizabeth, finds her in the closet.
Yep. So Elizabeth sees this happen. She's like kind of on the run. She knocks down the chandelier to try to, distract them or whatever. Locks herself in the dining room. Tries to get a sword down from the mantle, and we have one of these mid 2000s comic moments. Like, sword does not come unstuck. And it, like, the music stops, and it's just it reminds me a lot of that opening scene with Will Turner, with the candle. I don't know if I like that part of the scene as much as the candlestick. I mean, Erica, do you have any qualms with this scene?
No, I can't say I do. I wish that I had, like, I don't know, more qualms so I could say more things. But no, I really
You can
didn't.
say good things too. You
Yeah,
have like lines or
for me, this wasn't like it was like a memorable scene in some ways, but it wasn't like I don't have qualms. That doesn't stick in my mind as like, oh, I strongly liked it or I strongly disliked it. When there are scenes that I strongly liked or strongly disliked, I will for sure make it known.
aye.
So because she can't get the sword, she decides to hide in the closet. But she leaves a corner of the rug folded,
and that leaves Rigetti and Pintle right to her. And we have one of the most iconic lines in the whole movie, the whole franchise.
Hello, pulpit. And it just chills. I love it. Because you think Elizabeth's about to die, and then she's like, parlay. And she explains what parlay is over exposition, blah, blah, blah. She ends up going to the Black Pearl, and guys,
Yes.
I think it's time for Kudu Badu.
Kudu Badu. I don't know what it stands for.
Kudu Badu. Kudu Badu. Boo-doo.
Do 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 boo.
Kudu Badu.
Da 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 da.
Kadoo-badoo. Welcome everybody to the podcast within a podcast, Kudu Badu, the podcast where cool dudes rank bad dudes. This being the first in the series, let's just take a moment to talk about Captain Barbossa. Captain Barbossa is introduced in this scene where Rigetti and Pintle take Elizabeth Swann back to the Black Pearl, and boy howdy, is he just looks like commanding. He looks like he begs for not begs for respect. He like, you just respect him immediately, like as a bad guy, as a character. He demands respect, you know.
Can we talk about how great of a performance Jeffrey Rush gave and how he just like nailed every line delivery and how he just is like the best pirate actor?
Well, he for sure is. I think Barbossa is my favorite character. Followed closely behind Jack Sparrow, but like Barbossa, like Jeffrey Rush just knocks it out of the park. He sounds like a pirate. He looks like a pirate. He probably smelled like a pirate. He just the way he says things, like, you best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one. You know, like just stuff like that. Like you're so right. His line delivery is amazing, and he is obviously intelligent. He's more intelligent than the rest of the pirate crew.
Oh, he's got one of my favorite lines in his introduction, and of course I can't recite it. Like when he says no in a complicated way to
Oh yeah,
Elizabeth.
he's means no.
Yes.
We are
I
disinclined.
acquiesce. Yeah.
Disinclined to acquiesce
acquiesce.
to your request. Means no. And then she repeats it later, which I actually never caught. Is that crazy? I've seen this movie a lot.
There's one thing I caught too, but I'll get to it when we're there. Or I caught it for the first time.
Yeah, so like she's being held prisoner in the ship. You know, the Governor realizes she's gone. Commodore realizes she's gone. Will Turner realizes she's gone. Will recruits Jack to go rescue her. He breaks Jack out of jail. They go steal. At first, they steal the Dauntless, which is just a huge ship in the British Royal Navy, and they manage to take it. They are chased by the Interceptor, which is a fast, smaller ship in the British Royal Navy, and but before they do that, before they swap ships, they have just this great interaction, Will Turner and Jack Sparrow, and also I think one of the most iconic scenes in the whole series. That one where like Jack like looks over his shoulder, and Will's like they're coming.
Like right here. Boom. It's on the
That
IMDb page.
that exact one. It's very iconic. And you know, while it's off screen, they disable the rudder chain. They break this ship, and they hide. And when they're boarded from the Interceptor, they swing over to the Interceptor as the Dauntless is getting boarded, and then they cut all the ropes that were used to board the Dauntless, and they just take off. They successfully steal the Interceptor, and before this happens, Commodore's like, he's got to be the worst pirate I've ever heard of. And then later in the scene when they successfully steal the Interceptor, this unnamed pirate is like, got to be the best pirate I've ever seen. And Commodore has just this smug, so it would seem. I don't know. I love Commodore Dorrington. I feel like that's maybe an unpopular opinion. I think he's my third favorite character in the movie.
Important story beat there, Aaron.
What's that?
It's the reason Jack agrees to go with Will in the first place is because Will says his last name is Turner, Will Turner, and that his dad's name is William. Jack is like son of William Turner, and then he's like, "Sure, I'll go with you."
You know, I meant to write this down. I'm just going purely from memory, so I thank you for having those interjections. Anyways, they steal the Interceptor. They go to Tortuga. Tortuga, of course, is this pirate safe haven. It's this pirate city. It's pretty much one big island bar, which seems dirty and nasty, and there's pirate hookers and all this stuff. Everyone's drunk. And we get reintroduced to Mr. Gibbs, who's sleeping with pigs. And this is also one of my favorite. It's not an introduction, it's a reintroduction, but it's kind of an introduction.
Now you probably forgot about him, unless you've seen the movie.
True. But we get reintroduced to Gibbs, and he's sleeping with the pigs, and they wake him up with a bucket of water, and there's just this great exchange between Gibbs and Jack where he's like, you know, it's bad luck to wake a man when he's sleeping, and Jack's like, oh, I know how to counteract that. And it's like, the man who did the waking buys the man who was sleeping a drink, and he has to like listen to this proposal. And then Will throws another bucket of water on him, and it's just like, also the smell. And it's just another one of those one-liners from this. There's so many one-liners in this movie, and I love it. I don't think that they overdid it with the one-liners. Some movies can overdo it, but I think this was the perfect amount. So they start talking. Jack wants to recruit a crew. Jack tells Gibbs what Will told Jack, essentially. Am I missing anything from there?
Jack calls Will leverage.
Oh, right. Oh, that really bothered Erica. I need you to talk about the leverage pronunciation.
I wish it didn't bother me so much, but every time they said leverage, my entire body, like, I couldn't handle it. Like, I would just, like, tense up and cringe. I wish that they would just say leverage. But, I mean, I understand the Britishness of it all, so I can't be too mad. But every time and they said it quite a bit. It's a very common word throughout the rest of the movie. Every single time I kind of had to stop for a second and then regather myself. I don't know why it bugged me so much.
Yeah, it didn't ever bother me until you pointed it out, and now it kind of bothers me.
Really
So
dumb
sorry for
because
ruining that word for you.
it was this viewing. I don't know why I'm pointing at my microphone, but this viewing that I tied I connected the dots, and I'm like, oh, the leverage is leverage is that Will is Bootstrap Bill's son. Duh. I'm like,
um,
I mean,
you know, it's
I don't know why I knew it, but I didn't make that connection fully until this time.
so the actor that played Gibbs. Let me find him real quick. Kevin McNally. He's British, but
Yeah.
he says leverage. He's the only one in the entire movie that says leverage.
Does it also
Because of that,
bother you, Erica, when people say status
To me, status doesn't sound as horrid as
or
leverage
data?
sounds. No, data's not bad also. I feel like plenty of people say I'm personally a data type of person and a status type of person. Those two don't bother me too much. I would say status bothers me more than data bothers me, but leverage is just a different level of bad news.
so data is interesting. When I'm talking about, I think. Wait.
The by pronunciation person.
Yeah, I use them both, but I'm trying to think of what context I use. I feel like I'm talking about. If I'm talking about like data used on my phone, like we have unlimited data with T-Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
It's not our sponsor. We'll get to our sponsor later.
Break up.
But if I'm talking about like saved data, like a saved a game, like it, or something like it's rewriting on the hard drive. I'm writing data on the hard drive. You know, like if I save a document, it's saved as data on the hard drive.
See, data bothers me, status bothers me, but leverage never bothered me for some reason.
Congratulations, you guys are polar opposites.
Yeah, I'm so glad that leverage does not bother you because I'm sure that makes this movie just that much more of an enjoyable experience.
No, I had to endure Orlando Bloom's acting too.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. See, and that didn't bother me as much. So, you know, grass is always greener, I suppose.
But we can enjoy Jeffrey Rush together.
Yes,
So-
very much so.
Anyways, they're having this conversation. Leverage is said too many times. Then Gibbs recruits a ragtag group of pirates, and they're all introduced. Our homeboy, what's his name? What's his name?
Mr. Cotton?
Nope. Not the character's name. What's the actor's name? Oh, I didn't know his name. Vince Lozano, the dwarf that I thought he was in more movies. I thought it was Vern Troyer. It's not Vern Troyer. But we're introduced to all these characters, including Mr. Cotton, the guy that has his tongue cut out. And lo and behold, we get Zoe Saldana.
You stole my trivia.
It's not trivia. It should be well known.
I
Also,
never knew she was in this movie until yesterday.
Zoe Saldana is like one of my celebrity crushes. So like, of course I knew she was in this movie. Like, how could I not? Um, did I know she was in this movie as a kid, and then 6 years later when I saw Star Trek and like thought I saw her for the first time? No, I did not know that. But yeah, it's good old young Zoe Saldana, who
Like how
is
you didn't know Keira Knightley was in Star Wars Episode 1 as a kid. Neither did I.
Yep, very true, very true. This is the ragtag group of pirates that Gibbs recruits, and they are off. I'm a little fuzzy on what happens next. Does it go? It goes back to the pirates, right? They're in the.
Is this when Barbosa and Elizabeth have their dinner?
Oh yes, 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 yes. The dinner. Okay, yes. This is when the line comes back up. Rigetti and Pintle come in and bring her this very, let's just call it 17th century dress. Don't know exactly when this takes place, but I'm going to guess it's the 17th or 18th century. And she says, or they say, the captain would like you to dine with him in his quarters. And she says, I'm disinclined to acquiesce to his request. And they say, he said you say that. And he said if you refused, you'd be dining with the crew and you'd be naked. And she begrudgingly takes the dress from them and puts the dress on, and then goes to this lavish meal. Like, I don't know how. I mean, these guys are really rich pirates, but like, I don't even know how
But they don't even
they
have to eat. Why do they have food?
exactly like that's my yeah. Why do they have all this food? Why can this guy cook? Why is he? Where did he get trained? Did he get trained? Is he Michelin certified? I have all these questions. Does he have the 11 herbs and spices that the Colonel uses? I have so many freaking questions. Yeah, there just this guy is a fearsome pirate, but he obviously takes cooking very seriously. He's not even named. He's just Chef Pirate. Pirate Chef.
No, Chef
Pirate Chef.
Pirate.
Chef Pirate. Um, they have this meal. There's a lot of exposition. Um, Barbosa talks about how they're cursed, and Elizabeth's
There's
like, I
one
don't.
great shot in this. Um, I feel bad for interrupting, but you said to interject when I should.
I did.
When I
I
want to.
did. I did. I did.
And of course, I never looked at it with a movie maker eye when I was a teenager. I've watched a lot more documentaries and stuff, learned more about the process since then. But there's like, I never noticed how the food kept moving before, and then it just keeps rocking back and forth on the table because the ship is rocking back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this one scene when Barbosa is pouring wine, and he pours the wine as his glass is sliding across the table, and he just does it without looking. And it's great just because he's like looking at Elizabeth in the eye, just pouring this wine as it slides across the table.
I've never noticed that either. But yeah, there's exposition. Barbosa's like, "Yo, we're cursed." Keira Knightley's like, "I don't believe in gore stories." Words are hard.
Or Gerstroms.
He doesn't believe in ghost stories. She gets fed up, tries to stab him, and he's all like, he takes the knife out of his chest and he's like, "Well, what were you planning on doing after you killed me?" She runs out of the dining room. The crew is all skeletonized and doing their chores. And then Barbosa delivers one of my favorite lines. And I think it was in the trailer as well. It was like, "You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one." I love that
He
line.
pops the cork open of the wine and just like, oh, that's then he downs it.
Yeah, he
Right?
just
And can I just say that this scene was I was very like shook watching this scene because I think that going into this movie, I didn't really know that there were going to be like skeleton pirates. I thought that everyone was just a normal human being. I didn't really think that there would be like I don't know if it's like the right word, but like a supernatural element. This was very exciting when all this happened. I was like, oh wow, there's a whole nother layer to this movie I was not expecting at all. So that was a lot of fun as a first time viewer. I didn't see that coming. Well, I kind of saw it coming because like whatevsies, but it was I didn't I don't know. It
Are you
was
telling me
very
you never even saw a trailer for this movie?
that might be what I'm telling you. I mean I think that at some point in my life I've seen at least a couple scenes when they're like on TV, probably from like the second or third or fourth movie. But no, I had never seen a trailer. I really did not know what I was getting myself into. I just really liked how the skeleton pirates looked. That was very
Mhm.
exciting for me also. I didn't know that they were gonna look like that. Anyway, that was just fun for me.
Oh, can I just say that when Barbossa downs the wine, you see it trickling through his rib cage. That's also a reference to the ride.
I need to get back on this ride, obviously. I need to go back to Disney World.
Hmm.
Because everything that y'all are saying is making me just want to go back.
Well, unless you want to wait for, if you don't want to wait for COVID to get over, I'm not going to mention COVID too much, but there is a recording of the ride on YouTube from 1967, and just beware, there's some lines that have not aged well in the last 50 plus years. Some
Very
Yeah.
classic Disney. I'm braced. Thank you for
classic
that.
Disney, but you get to see the original ride from 1967.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
So I know we've been talking a lot about this particular scene where Barbossa downs that wine. Um, I have this really not interesting. It's not interesting. It's just stupid. Um, I swear, when I've had something to drink like after football, I think specifically during like a sports practice or something, and I like drink it really fast. I swear, I could feel it like on my ribs. Either of you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I wish so badly that I did know what you were talking about, but I just can't say I do. But I'm so happy for you that you had that experience. That's wonderful.
No, I like I just I yeah, I don't know how it happened or why it happened, but I swear I've had this feeling before, and maybe it's just because this movie's so ingrained in me, and I thought I've seen this, but yeah, I swear I've had that feeling. But whenever it's not been lately, like not since like high school or something, but I remember when it did happen, I just instantly thought of this scene. Just whatever, we can go on with it cuts away. We go back to the pirates. What are the pirates doing? Oh, Gibbs is talking to Will.
The other
about
pirates.
Jack.
The good pirates.
The other pirates. The good pirates, not the bad pirates. Sorry. Gibbs and Will are talking. Will's like, so why is Jack all doesn't use words. Sorry, listeners. But he's like, why is he all like kind of quirky, for lack of a better word? And Gibbs tells him the story about how Barbossa, or how Jack was the pirate or the captain of the Black Pearl, and Barbossa betrayed him and caused a mutiny. And they left Jack stranded on an island and only left him a pistol with one shot. And Will's like, pistol with one shot, and he's like, well, it's not very good for hunting, is it? But I mean, to be fair, if you're a really good hunter, you only need one shot, right? Anyways, it's implied that the one shot is for the pirate who gets stranded with it and is driven to madness and gets caused to commit suicide. Anyways, they're talking about this and how Jack escaped. He wrangled sea turtles, and
Sea turtles?
sea turtles. And Will's like, what did he wrangle them with? And
No, he said what did he make the rope out of?
oh yeah, he's like, what did he make a rope out of? And Jack Jackson's like, human hair from my back, which is just disgusting. So gross. And of course, it's just a legend or whatever, but that happens. They talk, and I want to say then it cuts back to the bad pirates. Is that right?
You know, I was like, in my memory, I was trying to recreate the movie, but there's parts in the middle I just can't remember the structure and the order of events, and this is one of those parts. I don't remember what happens next. I know they go to Isla de Muerta and catch up with the pirates, but I don't know if that's immediately or very soon afterwards.
Even if it's not immediately, I don't feel like any important story bits happen before that.
Mm-mm.
So good pirates catch up with bad pirates at Isle de Muerta. The bad pirates are about to sacrifice Elizabeth over the cursed gold. So I realized just now that we haven't talked hardly at all about the cursed gold. We just talked about how the medallion pulses out and calls to the pirates.
The weeds and the story beats here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry that we've forgotten this. The gold was cursed by the Native
Heathen
American
gods.
Native American heathen gods, because Cortez stole it. There's 800 pieces, and as long as all the 800 pieces are together in one place, it's fine. But as long as there's at least one piece missing, there's a curse, and that's what Will Turner's dad did. He took one of the pieces and sent it to his son, Will, and that's what Elizabeth found at the beginning on Will. She just took the medallion, and so for the first time in a decade or so, all 800 pieces are together in one place, and the only way to counteract the curse is to spill the blood of the last person who took a piece. Well, they didn't know that. They killed Bootstrap Bill Turner, and they're hoping that the blood of the child of Bootstrap Bill Turner will lift
Elizabeth
the curse.
says she is Elizabeth Turner and not
He does.
Swan.
Yes. Elizabeth takes the name Turner for reasons. I guess they never really say this. Also, sorry, I'm rubbing my eyes. They never really say this, and we got to get on with this. This is a long synopsis. We're recording for almost an hour and a half.
This is your synopsis, man. Come on.
Sorry.
Still got to get hers in.
Snaps?
No, her synopsis.
I don't know. If you don't want to, Erica, you definitely don't have to.
I feel like you've just done such a great job. What could I contribute?
Thank you. Yeah. She does this because she thinks that she initially was taken because she's the governor's daughter.
and wants to just use the name Turner to keep safe.
Because they probably figure the governor's name's Swan. If her name's Turner, maybe they'll release her. Anyways, this ends up being a bad move. So, flash forward back to Isla de Muerta, the island that you can't find unless you already know where it is. And they are about to spill her blood. They only spill a little bit of it at first. They like cut her hand. And when it doesn't work, they throw her aside. And the pirates are mad. They start arguing. And at this point, Will sneaks up and gets Elizabeth. She's like just laying to the side. There's like, it's like this, it's hard to describe to the listeners. It's like there's like this pedestal, like raised up area where the treasure is, but it's surrounded by where there's water behind it, and Will swims up in the water behind it, and Elizabeth is like inches away from falling in the water, right? And Will wakes up Elizabeth, grabs her, and somehow gets away with her. Meanwhile, Jack was going to be causing a distraction, but Jack gets captured by the pirates when they realize that Elizabeth's gone. Jack and Barbossa make an agreement, and this is one of my favorite parts of the movie where Barbossa just like is like, agreed, and that's not a GIF for some reason. At least it's not on the iPhone keyboard, and I would use that literally every day if I could. I also want to make a YouTube clip of that, just because I love the way he says agreed. I also really like when he says, then we have an accord.
Everything he says.
Yeah, that's I mean, if you made a Barbossa action figure, it'd be agreed. We have an accord. Not you. We named the monkey Jack. You know, typical action figure lines. Will and Elizabeth escape. Jack's captured. Will and Elizabeth get back to the ship. Gibbs is like, "Where's Jack?" Will's like, "He fell behind." Blah blah blah. Then they're off, and the bad pirates begin pursuing the good pirates. They catch up, overtake the interceptor, and take the good pirates hostage. Blow up the interceptor. We think Will Turner's presumed dead. He's not dead. He climbs up on the Black Pearl. All of the good pirates are held hostage. Elizabeth is for some reason not chained up with the rest of the people. He's like, "Yo, you got the wrong Turner. I'm the right Turner," and he threatens to kill himself, so all his blood will be spilt to the ocean, so they could never be lifted of the curse. 1 second. And then we realize that there's a lot of, or then we realize that there's been a lot of betrayal and stuff. Like Jack was using Will. Will probably was using Jack. Elizabeth was using Jack. It's just this whole circle of betrayal. Anyways, we get to this point where Barbossa agrees to not kill Jack or Elizabeth. They instead get put on the same island that Jack was trapped on and take Will Turner hostage. They still have the good pirates hostage. And then we have this fun scene of Jack and Elizabeth drinking rum on the beach, and they're just like, yo ho, the pirate's life for me. Which,
That's the
Alex,
song from the ride.
thank you,
Song from
right
the
on
ride.
cue.
I can say I do remember that song very clearly from the ride. Just want to make that clear. I do remember at least one thing.
Thank you so much, Erica. Really bad eggs. I love this song. So it's a great scene. Jack like twirls up his mustache and wants to kiss Elizabeth. She's like, I haven't had enough rum
Jack
for
thinks
that.
he's gonna fancy up to Elizabeth there.
Mm-hmm. He knocks out. She has this devious plan to so the rum came from the rum runners who used that island as storage. They find their secret storage, and then they drink the rum. Yo ho, yo ho, yo ho. Pirate's life for me. Really bad eggs. The soon as Jack knocks out, Elizabeth hatches this idea to burn the rum storage and just pretty much set all of the trees on fire and have this huge smoke signal that signal's over 1,000 feet high. And the entire British Royal Navy's out looking for me. There's no way they won't see it. Which remains to be seen. I feel like they could have not seen it. They just so happen to get rescued by the boat that Norrington's on. And they're like, but we have to go back and save Will. And they're like, well, Will got himself into this. He can get himself out. Pretty much. And Jack's still in deep doo-doo. I can't remember how they convince the Navy to help.
I don't know. I literally just watched this yesterday. I don't remember.
Erica, do you remember?
I really cannot say that I remember.
Anyways, the magic of movies. They they convince the British Royal Navy to help get these pirates. Oh, you know what? You know how it is? It's Elizabeth agrees to marry Norrington.
Oh,
She like has her fingers crossed, She's like,
bad.
yeah, she's like, I'll marry you if you help me save him. So they go in the dead of night, and then Jack and Elizabeth take a rowboat to Isla de Muerta from where the blockade is, and Jack tips off Barbossa, and just as they're about to sacrifice Will, they're literally about to slit his throat. He's like, wait, wouldn't do that. The entire British Royal Navy's out there. Just wait until they're dead. You can take all their ships. You can have a fleet. You could be Commodore Barbossa, and then Jack will be captain of the Black Pearl again. Jack will get Barbossa a really big hat. And Barbossa's like, boys, take a walk, and then we have one of the most badass walking scenes of all time. You just see these skeletons slow-mo walk on the ocean floor and then climb up these ships. I feel like that was so cool.
I think that was in the teaser trailer that I'm walking on the ocean floor. Because I remember the trailer just about as much as I remember the movie.
I do too. And Erica, when you saw this part, when you saw these skeletons slow-mo walking on the ocean floor, what was going through your head?
It was so cool. I mean, I'd only just learned like 45 minutes before that they were going to be skeleton pirates in the first place. So, actually getting to yeah, I thought that was really really cool. I thought it like looked cool visually. Like one thing I'm still impressed with was like how like good the movie looked considering that it's like not a super recent movie. Yeah, I
Thank you,
thought
film.
yes, thank you. I thought it was pretty badass to use your term.
Before Alex and Erica, we go on with the rest of the summary. I think we have a word from our sponsor, Weisscast. Ladies and gentlemen, do you love gaming, movies, and or TV? Well, shoot dang do I have the show for you. Listen to the podcast that started it all, Weisscast. For nearly 2 years now, it has been available on your favorite podcast service. It has gone through some growing pains, but we finally hit our stride. And if you like that and want to be a part of it, go to our show or go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Weisscast, where for $1 a month, that gives you the ability to ask questions that you want to be aired on the podcast. Also, it gives you the podcast early and uncut. Also, feel free to correct our mistakes. This has nothing to do with Patreon, but feel free to correct our mistakes at www.weisscast.com/your-wrong. We'd love to hear them, and we'll air them on the next episode. That is, go to your favorite podcast service, type in Weisscast, and we are there. Now, back to the summary. The skeletons ascend the ships of the British Royal Navy and just straight up slit one dude's throat, and they realize PG-13. Oh, how could I forget? Rigetti, Pintle. They are the Trojan horse right here. They are in dresses, they have umbrellas, they are in a rowboat. They are distracting the Navy while the rest of the pirates sneak on to the Navy's ships and can slaughter them. But they're somehow tipped off. Oh, they're tipped off because Pintle gets mad and shoots, and that's when they realize that they're being boarded. And then there's this awesome just like multi-layered sword fight with just the clash of the Navy and the pirates. And then in the cave where everyone else is, there's this sword fight between Barbossa and Sparrow, Jack. I don't know why I called him Sparrow. And it's really great. Will is saved by Elizabeth. There's 2 other pirates there, I guess, just standing guard. Maybe there's 3.
The pirates that are about to eat.
To eat.
Yeah, the pirates. There's pirates. You're getting to the part that I was unfamiliar, or I had forgotten about. When Elizabeth climbed up the side of the Black Pearl, it cuts to this inside shot of these 2 pirates with this food, and they're like, "What's the first thing you're gonna eat?"
Oh yeah. I skipped ahead. I forgot I forgot Elizabeth got on the Black Pearl and rescued the good pirates. I forgot she
But
didn't
that
go.
was a scene I was like, I don't remember that line at
Mhm.
all.
I don't remember the line. I remember the scene. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that they said anything. I thought they just like saw the monkey fall on the cannon outside.
Eventually they do. Yeah, eventually they
Yeah,
stick their heads out the window.
yeah. Anyways, yeah. So before she gets to the cave and rescues Will, That's when she rescues the good pirates. Then she goes to the cave. The good pirates help out with the battle. The Will Turner and Elizabeth Swan take down the guards that are in the cave. This is when the corset line comes back up. She's like, "You like pain? Try wearing a corset." And it's just one of those things that you were talking about with the writing, how it like kind of just keeps coming back up, and it's like it's very self-referential, and it's something that makes Arrested Development great. It's like very self-referential, and I love it when movies and TV shows reference themselves. It's very good. This sort of fight is good, but it's not as good in my opinion.
Barbossa and Jack.
Yeah.
I think it's the strength is that they keep going in and out of moonlight, so you see Barbossa transform from skeleton to flesh.
Yeah, and as well as Jack, who snuck a piece of the gold.
See, do you think there's a little inconsistency in logic there? Because I was under the impression that you had to be like part of the crew that stole the gold originally. You couldn't just take a piece and become cursed, but I don't know.
Well, he was technically part of the crew, right?
Oh, that's right. Duh.
He was technically, and he got kicked off the ship before Bootstrap sent away the other piece of gold. So they weren't cursed really until the other piece of gold was sent away, right? I don't know. It makes sense in my head. I don't think it's continuity error. Anyways,
It seems really convenient that he can just pick up a piece of gold and be able to turn into a skeleton, but it works.
Deus Ex Machina. If it only comes up once in this movie, that's fine. Yeah, it's pretty cool how they go in and out of the moonlight. You're right. That is pretty cool. But then they outsmart Barbossa. Jack throws the coin to Will, who has already cut his hand in preparation to lift the curse. There's like the standoff where Barbossa is pointing a gun at Elizabeth. Jack's pointing a gun at Barbossa. And we hear a gunshot, and we don't know who got shot. And then Barbossa opens his coat some, and he's bleeding. The curse has been lifted, and Barbossa has another one of my favorite lines, and probably one of the best death lines of all time. Like, I feel cold. Just love it. Then he's dead. And then go back to the British Royal Navy. They realize that the pirates can die now, and they're humans again. So they realize that they won, and they start chanting huzzah. And this whole time, the governor had been stuck, or what's the word I'm looking for? Barricaded in Norrington's office, and kind of chickening out against a fight. And he like acts like he did a lot during. He's like huzzah, 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 and he like does this little punch thing for like comic relief or whatever. Jack's arrested by the Navy. We kind of flash forward, presumably to the next day or the next week or whatever. Jack's about to be hanged for his crimes. Will decides to save him. Elizabeth decides to be by both of their sides and be a pirate. This is a pretty cool action scene. Will throws that sword so Jack can stand on it. so he doesn't get hanged. Jack is like tiptoeing on it and just like barely like staying above the point where he could be hanged. And there's this huge fight. Will pushes the what's his name or what the executioner into the crowd. He's this huge guy. He's probably like 6'8", like 400 pounds, just like pushes him into the crowd. It was a really cool fight between the executioner with his axe and Will with his sword. And then Will and Jack have this cool badass team up moment where they take the rope that Jack was supposed to be hanged with and like take out a bunch of dudes like tripwire style. And then they like wrap up 4 dudes around the column and like pull the rope and like I guess knock them out somehow. I don't know the logic behind that, but it looks kind of cool. But then they get surrounded, and this is when Elizabeth Swan's like, "Psych, Norrington, don't want to marry you. I'm in love with Will Turner." And
She faints again.
that was earlier. I just skipped over it.
Oh.
And for reasons, they let everyone go. They give Jack a day's head start. He like dives off the fort and swims to the Black Pearl, which is there waiting for him with the good pirates. It's actually I think it's a mixture of the good pirates and the former bad pirates. And
of the original Black Pearl crew.
Yeah, it's a mixture of the original crew and Jack's new crew because Rigetti and Pintel's still there. And after Jack dives off, I mean, Will and Elizabeth kiss. Jack swims to the Black Pearl. He has his compass and he's like ordering his pirates along, and he's drink up me hearties, yo ho. And then the movie ends. Great ending, fantastic ending. Yeah, that's Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl. If you could score it, not like musical score it, but like out of 10 score it, what
How many pieces of 8 would I give it?
Yeah.
I think about this when I watch movies, and I'm gonna give it a solid 8.
Erica?
Okay, I think
You're muted.
it'll be hard. Yeah, I think it would be hard for me to give it like a number until I've seen the other ones, but I guess I'm not like ranking them. I'm just giving it like a rating by itself. My
Impression.
my first instinct is I was also gonna say 8, but I don't want to like be a copycat, so maybe I'll say like 8.5 because I did
You could
really.
say 8.
Well, the
That's
thing is
good.
like I did really like it, and it was a lot different than I thought it would be, which to me is exciting. I kind of thought I like knew what was gonna happen, but I really didn't, so that was cool. Yeah, my instinct is 8, but I might give it an 8.5 just because I did actually like it a lot more than I thought I would, which was exciting.
An 8 is not a bad score, listeners.
8 is great on our scale, and you know what? I think I also have to give it an 8. It is a very solid movie. I think very much carried by the acting of old what's his name?
Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah, of Jeffrey Rush and Jack Sparrow. I feel like they carry the movie.
The dialogue between them is written so well. Some of the characters, like you were saying, like Will Turner's not written very well. Well, it's not that he's not written well. It's just that he's like plays him kind of wooden. And I'm
Mhm.
wondering if he was having trouble if Orlando Bloom was having trouble distinguishing this character between Legolas, because Legolas was like kind of supposed to be like more wooden
Mhm.
of a character, and I know that there was a few years between the filming of this movie and the filming of the Lord of the Rings movies, but that was like his last major character. So I was wondering if he was like kind of just stuck in that headspace, because I don't feel like he's as wooden of a character in other films. I could be wrong. But yeah, my instinct says to give it an 8 as well. It's so good. I sometimes claim it in my top 5 movies. Like it's just, I think I've told both of you that like the 5th movie in my top 5 movies like kind of rotates around, but like I have a solid top 4. I love this movie so much. The scores in it, like the musical score is incredible. It has some of the most iconic music of all time. The cinematography is beautiful. Eric, I remember you pointing out like a lot of the scenes, like specifically like of the ships like on the ocean or whatever. Just like how beautiful it was. It still holds up. It really does. I'm trying to think of. Oh, now that we've scored it, Alex,
Yeet.
take us to our Darmok reviews.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can write in your own Darmok reviews. How are they going to communicate with us?
Patreon.com/Weisscast.
Okay. So a little summary about Darmok. It's a reference to Star Trek: The Next Generation, where Picard encounters this alien race that only speaks in like story references. And if you want to find out what the syntax is, uh, we have show notes. You got show notes?
We will put it in the show notes.
We'll put the list in the show notes. But what I am going to do my best is try to summarize each movie we watch with this Darmok syntax. So you got a preview earlier, and here's the full thing. Sparrow and Turner at Tortuga, Barbossa when the wall fell, Sparrow and Turner on the ocean.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And hopefully, listeners, you can get us more mock reviews in future episodes. Wait. No, that works because it's a pirate podcast. This has been Weiss Camera Action. I, of course, am your host, Aaron Weiss. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at The Weiss is Right. Alex, where can they find you?
Instagram and Twitter at Alexander M. Weiss.
Erica?
You can find me on Instagram at erica.lav, L-A-V. You can find my pretty inactive Twitter, if you really care about my Twitter that I never tweet on, at _lavender ICA.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this was Weiss Camera Action. This was a very
Wait.
fun first episode. Alex has something else to say.
What's the Weisscast, or what's the Twitter, or what's the social media for this podcast?
But yeah, I haven't created a social media for Weiss Camera Action.
You said you're going to poll the listeners on social media.
Oh, I was going to pull the listeners on Weisscast on Instagram. Go to Instagram, follow Weisscast. There we will pull. I'm going to change the handle to something. Weisscast Productions, maybe. Also, feel free to go to patreon.com/Weisscast and become a Patreon producer so that we can keep the lights on here and also we can help create, that will help us create more quality content. We can't do this show without listeners like you. Thank you so much, everyone, and this has been really fun. Alex, Erica, this pilot episode is literally a dream come true. Thank you so much for being a part of it.
Next week, Dead Man's Chest.
I'm excited to keep doing these. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm very excited as well. Until next week, guys. Drink up, me hearties.
Really bad eggs.